one word stands out clearly: coordinated attacks. The second word that stands out clearly is sponsors. Now, this is not the first time this is happening in Jos Plateau State. As a matter of fact, these Birkin Laddie attacks and killings have been ongoing since the year 2001 or 2002. It's been over 2 decades of this happening in Plateau State. And you look at Nigeria, and you look at attacks and killings, and it's almost become like a norm. The Labour Party presidential candidate said even countries that are at war do not suffer the amount of loss of lives that Nigeria has suffered this year from herdsmen attacks, banditry, and so on and so forth. Wanton destruction of lives and property. And where does the security apparatus of Nigeria stand in all of this? Because if you read that report about Boko and Birkin Laddie, the commander of Operation Safe Haven in Jos Plateau State says the reason why they were slow to respond was because of the terrain. And I ask, but the killers, the attackers, navigated the same terrain, and I dare say they probably did not have sophisticated vehicles to navigate these terrains. And the second question is, when there were now noise of reprisal, when the locals had galvanized themselves and there was an uproar, in the words of the commander of Operation Safe Haven, he said they swiftly moved in to quell it. And we're also aware that many times reports are made to the security personnel saying, we suspect that this is going to happen, we're expecting attacks, or we have been informed that we are going to be attacked. Do something about it. So why is the Nigerian security apparatus seemingly never ready to defend the citizens it is paid to protect?
Man, it is sad because we are talking about human lives here, not goats. Even if they were goats, animal, livestock, or human being. And this is one attack that has become too many. One place. Sometimes I ask whether are we even a country at all? Because one duty that the country owes citizens is protection of lives and property. And they took an oath to do that. How will one attack be happening in one place for since 2001 till now, you have not gotten a solution to it? I sympathize with those that live in that part because they are helpless as it looks now. You don't know what will happen tomorrow morning. They just get up and being slaughtered daily, and the government keep making lame excuses. This is very lame excuse, because even if it needs redesigning the security architecture in that area, you do it. What do you mean by difficult terrain? Are they not part of Nigeria? It's the kind of thing we hear in the Niger Delta when they are taking oil from our communities. You don't hear difficult terrain when they are taking the oil. But when you ask them to put electricity, put water, or do anything, say, difficult terrain. When you have government to bureau to you, they say difficult terrain, Niger Delta, difficult terrain. But when they are taking oil, there is no difficult terrain. You don't hear it. If there were some economic presence there, they will protect it. They will be there. But because these are citizens, they are giving that lame excuse. I think it is high time, like I said, President Tinubu said that he will not be complaining, that he applied to do this job. It is high time they need to think through security issues in this country. They need to redesign, like I said, security architecture in this country. The pattern, the strategy you are using in Plateau is not the same you use in the Weri, where the IPOP are operating. It is not the same thing you will use in the Niger Delta, where militants operate in the creek. So they should begin to think about all the security issues. Is not something you just come and sit down there and say, I'm a security chief. No. It has to do with intelligence gathering. when this thing was being planned, that attack was being planned, any ITs, if they were serious with intelligence gathering, they would have gotten the signal that they are plotting to possibly lay ambush and wait for them. Why are we always crying all the time? I never had our security men becoming proactive. They will nip this in the bud. You know? It means that all the billions of dollars that they spend on intelligence gathering, it's just entering somebody's pocket. They are not doing the job. Or they are not getting the right people to man this duty posts. They are not getting the right people. Because, I mean, it is becoming too much.
Now, before
and one day we will be here and they will just come and catch our president. No, it's true now. The way things are going, they will just enter Sorog and carry our president and go because they know intelligence gathering. were you in this country when they bomb police headquarters?
Well, I was.
So
we hope it doesn't get to that part where they walk into Aso Rock Villa and grab Mr. President. But before we come to what Mr. President said and his declarations as transmitted by Ajuri Ngelale, let's look at what the governor of Plateau State has said, which mirrors what the previous governor of Benue State said sometime last year when there was also a massacre in his state. The call to take up arms and defend themselves. The governor of Plateau State has said the communities have to galvanize themselves, come together and protect themselves. Same way the governor of Benue State then came out to say, this is one killing too much. It's time we take up arms and defend ourselves. I mean, is that where we are going? Is that the next level for Nigerians now, where we can no longer rely on the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian National, what's the name, NSCDC, to protect us, and we have to do the protecting ourselves for ourselves?
Well, they've been pushed to the wall. If you were the people, what will you do? They've been pushed to the wall. I think it's the only option left, because if they don't do that, then they should be ready to die. That is the only thing. If they don't come together right now and look for arms to defend themselves, because definitely the government has failed them too many times. Nigeria has happened to them too many times. Abba, you go to bed and wake up in the morning and see corpses everywhere, every day. No, it's not acceptable. They need to, look for means to protect themselves. It is evidently very clear that the security of this country has failed the people.